Is it live?
From Doe's Eat Place on Government Street in Mid-City. Welcome to the Tuesday edition of Live at Lunch, 104.5 ESPN, Baton Rouge. I'm Charles Hanniger, along with Jimmy Ott and Jordan Kitchens back in the studio. Andy Isco will join us from Las Vegas at the end of hour number one. And we are in the middle of hour number one. And we do first class, second class, no class on Tuesdays. Holiday week, kids out of school, potentially. If you're moving your way around town, add a little time. Just word to the wise. Little more traffic-y here this week, but hope everybody's enjoying the holiday week. Let's get right to it. This news comes out here in the last half hour or so that Mack Brown has been let go at North Carolina. Brown, who had gone back to North Carolina for his second stint, just finished his sixth season. The first time he was there for 10, and then, of course, had that long run at Texas. He had a winning season every year except one in the 6 years that he went back there. That was in 21, and he had a conference record that was 10 games over 500. Went to a bowl game every year. They'll go to another one this year. The one major bowl game they went to was in the COVID year in the Orange Bowl. He was 113-78, 67-57 in ACC play. Jim, we got go back a long way with Mack Brown. I don't know him. I think I might have passed him in one press conference somewhere, but I worked with Alan Risher for a long time
on the
post game, and Rish would always give a tremendous amount of credit to the development that he had in his final year in 1982 at LSU when Brown was his mentor. And it was a big deal at LSU at the time when they got when Charlie McClendon retired. They brought Bo Ryan in, and he was only a coach for about a month, but he was going to run the Veer, and they thought that was what they were going to run. And when Brown got here, it really took the step to a more passing style offense. Not anything like what we see today, but it was a big deal at the time. And Rish had a terrific senior season, and Dalton and James Gang and LSU went to the Orange Bowl. So I've heard a lot of the Mack Brown stories, and he was an innovator back then and had a hell of a run at Texas. National championship there, the Vince Young team, but won about 75%. Maybe a little bit better than 75% of his conference games there. They won multiple Rose Bowls. They won multiple BCS Bowls. So this guy's had a hell of a run. And I think, just judging from his comments, that even after the retirement rumors early in the season, he wanted to come back for another year. And
he made that.
He's 73 years old, wanted to come back for another year, and the administration was like, no. We're going to move on. So first of all,
the fan base, and I mentioned that they were ready to move on. I mean, kind of rallied a little bit, but Charlie, this is we talk about the expanded conferences in the unbalanced schedules. They had one of the easiest schedules in the country this year.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, so who are the top teams in the ACC?
Top teams at Miami, SMU, Clemson.
Zip. Don't play any of them. How about Notre Dame plays 6 ACC games? Nope, not them either. I mean, this is a bad schedule, and they kind of got that lucky game, against Minnesota on that opening weekend when we were out in Las Vegas. But this was a really weak schedule. They were favored, Charlie, in I want to say.
I'm looking at the road games. They were favored. They were favored at Florida State. Were they favored at Virginia?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
Then that's pretty much. They were short dog at Minnesota, or was like a 2-point spread?
Boston College. They were favored Saturday at Minnesota. They were 1.5.
Yeah.
They were favored at Duke. They were favored in.
I know they were favored at Florida State.
Was Pitt. Let me see. Pitt.
It might not have been favored.
Pitt 2.5.
Okay.
So before the season, I kind of identified them as one of a kind of a long shot because, so they're favored 11 of their 12 games. And that's I just ripped it off, man. This is not a good league. The teams at the top are really not that great. But when you dodge all four of the clearly the best teams,
and you're 6-5, that's a losing record.
Yeah, no, this was. I'm sorry, Georgia Tech in it was a favorite over North Carolina this year too. But I mean, they were projected. They were still favored 10 of the 12, but before the season started, they're favored against Georgia Tech at home, and and they're favored. They're expected to be favored against Pitt at home. So they could have been favored in all 12 games. Now, this is a very, very soft schedule this year.
I don't know that it carries the weight that it once did in recruiting now to say, is your coach, he's coming back for one more year. Well, you say that, and, who are you committing to if you're going to be there for 3 years, but 4 years, but I don't know if that matters anymore. Probably not.
First thing
everything's year to year now. So
the first thing that struck me is, yes, the LSU tie, because when Bo Ryan died and they hired Stovall, it was a roller coaster ride. It was a good year, bad year, good year, bad year. And he lasted 4 years. And one of the big reasons was Mac Brown. And even when I was that age, he was credited. You could see the more imagination, the utilization of the backs in the passing game. Yeah. Risher had thrown for 14 touchdowns combined in the previous 2 years. He threw for 17, in that season. So, and they went from 3-7-1 to 8-3-1. It was, they were just really, I mean, especially Dalton and Gary James out of the backfield, utilizing those guys. Even Fontenot. And Fontenot was a running back. Well, he was kind of a tweener.
You know who else they used that year? Malcolm Scott. The tight end became a part of the passing game. Again, not like today, but for that time, Malcolm Scott became a real part of that offense.
It was just big time recruit out of St. Aug, no doubt. Passing, following up Greg LaFleur.
Rich loved him. He always spoke very highly of Malcolm Scott.
Yeah. So I mean, that his effect and then he went to Appalachian State as a head coach, but then went to Oklahoma and Switzer. You know what your offense you're running there, and then of course Tulane. So he did well at Tulane. I got him to. They played the Independence Bowl, and I want to say the Liberty Bowl against Penn State too, where they lost a close game. But North Carolina, Charlie, this is the first job he's been fired.
Yeah.
This is the first football job he has been fired.
He was back-to-back 10-win seasons back when that meant something in the 90s that got him the Texas job. I mean, he had a 3 10-win seasons, his last 5 at North Carolina, which tell me, who's the second most successful coach at North Carolina?
Dick Crum,
okay.
I would think.
And that's a pretty significant drop-off I'm saying North Carolina's football success, a lot of it is tied to Mac Brown. It's a basketball school through and through.
Well, where are they? I mean, what kind of job is it?
That was my next question for you.
I mean, because
Brown made $5 million last year. So let's assume that the salary is somewhere in that neighborhood. 5-year deal, $25 million, maybe $30 million. What kind of NIL budget do you have once the basketball coaches are done with it? I don't know. It's not one of the top 3 or 4 jobs in the league, I don't think, but I think it's a second group job in the ACC.
They have more resources than say Duke, Wake Forest, Virginia,
Syracuse, Pitt,
Syracuse,
Boston
close.
Okay, Boston College.
They're close.
NC State.
I got to give Carolina. NC State's never won a league,
right?
Ever.
I'm going to Georgia Tech.
Yes.
Louisville.
No. Same though. Same.
Yeah.
I mean, almost identical.
Right. Miami. I know they're having a good year.
No. Not in this era.
Not anymore.
No. Not ever. Not ever, Charlie. Not ever. No, you go to Miami.
Those facilities were crap for a long time.
Okay, but you had more. You don't think they have budget now?
Yeah, because of the way.
Okay, we'll build some facilities. I mean, you just look. I mean,
let the Dolphins do it for them.
Charlie, they look. No. It's. Well, Miami is not what they used to be, but you know what it is? It's better to not be what you used to be than be a never.
Yeah. So out of 17 teams, let's pick them about fifth.
They're the Ole Miss of the ACC.
Fifth or sixth.
They're the top end of the lower half.
Okay.
Or maybe even the low end of the upper half.
I tend to go there. I'm saying like
where the hell
six.
Cal Stanford? No. I mean, we got to include them, but no, Carolina's better off than them.
Yeah.
SMU? No way.
They're not even close.
No way.
At this point, I'm willing to say that SMU's got the most financial backing in the league.
Charlie, they got stupid money for so many kids that have come through there.
That's what I'm saying. I got them number one right now.
And now finally they have something that will excite them and motivate them to contribute in that regard. SMU is a real monster waiting to happen, and they did what they had to do. Okay, it's embarrassing. Yeah, we're gonna have to pay. To forfeit our distribution rights for a couple. Fine. Okay, we got to get here. We got to do it. And then they happen to have this season. Look out. Look the hell out.
Can I ask you where Clemson would rank if Dabo would actually take the money? Because I don't know what kind of budget NIL Clemson has because Dabo won't use it.
Talked about that forever, where Dabo and Clemson, they got rid of the thorn in their side, a hindrance administratively with a lady in compliance. Promoted her, get her out the way. No, she's making life harder on us. You know how LSU has had some problems with people in compliance in the past. Will Wade's been at both. Said no comparison. Woman at Clemson was tougher. To deal with. Okay, I'm just saying.
No,
you've heard it here.
I believe
he's been there. Said it was tougher. The IPTAY, they started borrowing money instead of, and this is what our boy Radakovich did. No, they started borrowing money, and instead of just using the money that was in IPTAY, and it cost more, but they went into debt a little bit, but they raised their budgets, and their football facilities every bit as nice as LSU's. It's a much smaller campus, but we have two like Texas A&M, but they finally figured it out, and Dabo, and then they changed the rules on him. He finally got it where he's manipulating, he's working the system as good as he can, and they're out recruiting. I mean, come on, man. They're always just like a little finesse program that was but they were never taken seriously. Mississippi State was like, I think Clemson won 10 games. I was on the sideline for that Peach Bowl. LSU was off the bowl season that year, and we're guests of Rich Rodriguez and Tommy Bowden. Truck was working there. We were hanging out with him the whole Bart. And so, Mississippi State beat the dog mess out of them. And that was a 10-win team. And Mississippi State was like a 7-5 SEC team. They were not close to competing with the top teams, even the middle teams with the SEC. And then all of a sudden they got the best defensive line in the country. And then you change the rules. And that's why Dabo's a little butthurt. It took a lot of shaking and maneuvering and scheming within, behind the scenes to get it right. And then they changed the rules on him. But it's still not smart for him.
Right.
But they have a ceiling, Charlie. They could be more competitive. They are limiting themselves voluntarily. And why make it tough on you? Get over. If he doesn't, they'll move on.
Tell you who I'd offer
this. But Clemson wants to win. They have way more desire to win and commitment to win than North Carolina ever will in football.
Tell you who I'd offer the job to if I was North Carolina, and I'm going to ask you what you think about him and if he would take this job or not. I would offer this job to John Summerall at Tulane. I think the guy's got a hell of a future. He's 42 years old. He had 2 great seasons at Troy. He's had a terrific year this year at Tulane. He's been an assistant coach. He's been a coordinator in the Southeastern Conference. He would have probably been offered the job at Kentucky had Stoops taken the job at Texas A&M last year. I think he's got maybe a higher ceiling than North Carolina, but I'd make him say no.
Is it sustainable what he's doing? Troy's one, and there's been some coaches that have used that as it's just a solid build, solid stepping stone. You want to try and get a chance to get a bigger, go to Troy. Now he took all the players, the best players with him, pretty much all of them to Tulane, to where Tulane even This is a better roster than their undefeated team that year. That undefeated team would score a lot. They had set all kinds of scoring records. They couldn't stop a nosebleed.
So we're going to give him credit for that, for
but
hustling those
how,
kids.
Oh yeah, he understands the roster.
Yeah.
How to the roster, modern day roster building.
Yeah.
But is this just a 1 year where he inherited a really good situation for Willie Fritz and brought over some difference makers? I mean, defensively, they've never been this good, man.
Right. I can't guarantee you he's going to be a great head coach. I just love what I've seen so far. He's the right age.
No, I
right
understand
pedigree.
that.
He's got everything. I'd offer the guy the job tomorrow.
Well, what other jobs are out there? There's no major jobs.
Well, yeah. I mean,
Charlie, no, this is 2024. The firings have been made already in previous years.
A lot of them, yeah.
No, this is we're past Black Monday.
Well, I think Summerall's in a spot where he doesn't have to take the first Power 5 job that's offered to him. I think there's going to he may have to wait another year to get the right one.
The quarterback will be back, and he should have a decent roster.
Right.
So I don't know if he's done yet at Tulane either.
That's what I'm saying. He could stay there. Do you want to stay at Tulane, or would you take a job like North Carolina, or do you want to wait for what's behind? If North Carolina and Kentucky were both offered, which one would you take? If the money's comparable.
Well, that's a tough question.
Yeah, isn't it? Because that's the job he's up for.
I have to. Stoops has gotten Kentucky to raise the bar. Like it's almost like Kentucky has better facilities than maybe Florida, and some of that type of stuff. But they're so similar, and man, the SEC is so much tougher than the ACC.
Sledgehammer league.
I gotta get a read on my payroll budget. Quit calling it NIL. It's got nothing to do with endorsements. I mean, what's my payroll? What kind of commitment is North Carolina willing to make? And that's $1 million. They can, if they're going to give me the same budget that Kentucky is, I can win more in North Carolina. Good. They do have nice facilities. They do overall athletic facilities, like you're talking about. They're better than the Miami's. I get that, but Miami's just a different dog, man. I just no. We're here at Doe's Eat Place. We're in the Crown Town room. Holiday gatherings. Hey, let us know. We can do. So we got plenty of different options. Big tables in the main dining room. They got the little almost like a little breakfast area that fits about 12, 14 facing Government Street. The Crown Town room. We could do larger parties up to 50 or 60 in here. Bowl games will be on in the TVs or whatever you want to watch in our 3 big screen TVs here in the Crown Town room as well. And also just holiday season. You got some folks in town, man. You can eat a great steak in a casual atmosphere over here at Doe's, man. So the porterhouse over here, filet on one side, the strip on the other. You can cook it at different temperatures to appease different folks. Great wine selection. Our mixologists do a heck of a job for all of them. Moscona talks about it all the time. A great old-fashioned over here at Doe's. So closed for Thanksgiving. Give our staff off, obviously. So, but if you have some family in town this weekend, hey, come on, stop over here at Doe's Eat Place in Government Street in the heart of Mid-City.
Live at Doe's, live at lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at lunch.
Run with us on a John Deere Z365R Z-Track mower, built for taking it easy. With the Easy Change 30-second oil change system and standard mulch control to control your clippings without any extra effort. Because lawns aren't just for mowing, they're for living. Nothing runs like a Deere. Search John Deere Z300 for more.
Pre-order your new John Deere at Ascension Equipment on Airline Highway in Gonzales. Pre-order now and get your mower before the grass grows.
Hey, Baton Rouge, remember Red Stick Sports, your hometown favorite since 1981. They've been here through every season, serving our community with pride. Still family owned and operated, they're more than just a store. They're a part of your life. Whether it's football, baseball, or any sport in between, they've got you covered. Any season, for any reason. Red Stick Sports is there for you. Swing by today and keep the spirit alive. Red Stick Sports, where every game begins. 5770 Essen Lane.
Football season is back, and the best place to watch all the action all season long is at Pluckers. Nicholson, just south of campus, Bluebonnet, right in front of the Mall of Louisiana, with wall-to-wall TVs and award-winning jumbo chicken wings. What more could you possibly want? Pluckers is also a great spot to host your fantasy football draft, with the commissioner getting a gift card when you schedule in advance. Make sure Pluckers is part of your game day plans every game day all season long. Pluckers, if you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird.
Need more space? Workbox LLC has the storage solutions you can count on. Whether you're a homeowner, commercial contractor, or industrial business, we have the space for you. Our secure, versatile storage units are ready to meet your needs. Contractors, keep your site organized and efficient. Store your materials with us and access them anytime you need. Businesses, industries of any size, Workbox LLC is your trusted partner for flexible, safe storage. Workbox 343-4886 and workboxllc.com.
If you're a small business owner, you've probably noticed how the big banks like to force you into one-size-fits-all financial service products. At Neighbors Federal Credit Union, we've created a suite of flexible commercial checking accounts designed to fit the specific needs of your local business. And with 9 full-service locations throughout Greater Baton Rouge, we're always just around the corner. We're a local small business looking out for other local small businesses. Learn more about Neighbors commercial checking accounts by visiting neighborsfcu.org. Neighbors Federal Credit Union. We're here for you. Insured by NCUA.
Why do billion-dollar insurance companies regularly delay and deny valid claims? Because that's how they got to be billion-dollar insurance companies. If you've been injured, I'd like to help.
Spencer Callahan is the one to see. Call 387-2323.
LA filing number 16-7969.
Step inside a glowing wonderland and discover a new festive tradition at Burden Museum and Gardens. From November 29th to December 29th, experience Louisiana Lights, an enchanting holiday display in historic Windrush Gardens. Stroll through illuminated gardens and enchanted forts. Marvel at dazzling displays under majestic oaks. Don't miss this magical holiday experience in Baton Rouge. Visit discoverburton.com for tickets and details.
Why choose one activity when Main Event has them all? From bowling to a multi-level laser tag arena to a massive gaming floor with over 100 arcade games, there's something for everyone. Enjoy our full-service bar and savor our newly revised menu for an exceptional dining experience. You need a fun spot for a spirit night fundraiser or an unforgettable birthday party? Look no further. Main Event is where every event becomes a celebration. Book your event today at mainevent.com. That's mainevent.com.
Hi, this is Jake and James of Trash Rangers of Louisiana. Have you voted yet? Vote for Trash Rangers, and we really will take the trash out. Go to trashrangers.com now.
Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. 5 brands on one lot. Shop BayouAutomotive.com.
Live at lunch with Ott and Hanny from Doe's Eat Place on Government Street on 104.5 ESPN, Baton Rouge.
Remember, you can always get the show on demand at LouisianaSports.net, 1045ESPN.com. Brand new Handycast, complete review of the Vanderbilt film. You can get that on YouTube right now. Go to Handycast. Please subscribe and like. Richard Dixon and I went through the film from last Saturday's game. Jimmy, you get a chance, I'm sure, to watch the Ravens beat the Chargers last night.
Yeah, man, we're kind of seeing the stitches right now in the handicapping, and it's just the Broncos, the Commanders, the Chargers. I mean, all first or second year coaches. It's kind of like Peyton's his first year because he's got his rookie quarterback, and he got more.
Last year was like a reset.
I think he's showing a little bit more patience with Bo Nix than he did with Russell Wilson. But anyway,
it's his guy.
Yes. And they're solid teams. They got a chance to be in the playoffs. They're probably all going to be in the playoffs. But when they stepped up, like the Thursday night game against the Eagles for Washington, had the lead, but it was just no. Then they got kind of leaned on. The Broncos when they went to Baltimore, they got smashed. They were more competitive against Kansas City, but Kansas City's playing close games against everybody. And then last night, the same sort of thing. Chargers when they wanted to step it up, and even more so the style that the Chargers are playing. They're slowing the games down. It was more to that was fine. The possessions were limited last night because of the way Harbaugh dictates the game. But the 10-0 lead, and then it was just all Baltimore. One key part in the game, because a lot of coaches, the field position would have dictated that you punt the ball right before half. But John Harbaugh did not want to go into halftime down double digits. And at that time, his defense was not really putting the clamps on the Chargers. Chargers dropped some balls as well to kind of, to stop themselves. But it was just, in the end, Charlie, this is the number one rush defense in the league. That Derrick Henry, I mean, what did they average? 10 yards a rush. So it's a little, some of the numbers and the records are schedule related. They're on their way. They're better things, bigger and better things down the road for Washington, Chargers, Broncos. But right now, they're just not beating themselves. They're beating the bad teams. And it was once perceived as a big upset. The Jets blew it. No, Denver's a better team. Who do you think's going to win now? That game would be looked on totally different now if they played again. So, the Denver took care of the Raiders. They didn't beat themselves. They let Minshew beat himself. They're winning the games they're supposed to. But when they step up in class against the elite, and the Eagles have turned into elite, Barkley has made an impact, a big impact. How about that? The running back position that we're just, and they gave up on both these guys. Boy, what kind of impact is Derrick Henry making on Baltimore, and what kind of impact is Saquon Barkley making on Philadelphia?
I can make an easier case for the Titans and the Eagles than the Giants, because Henry's a little bit older, a little bit more tread on the odometer, and the Titans were not going to be good this year. I mean, they would be better with him, but they weren't going to make a run. I can understand them not putting a bunch of money. The Giants, it's harder. Barkley's younger. He doesn't have as many carries. I mean, we saw the Hard Knocks thing. We've seen it a million times now. They knew that if Barkley left them, he was going into the division.
The Hard Knocks thing is, if any NFL team lets that camera crew into a peek behind the curtain, I mean, it's really exposed.
Yeah,
they come off looking really poor.
if it makes it a little bit more palatable if he's at least going to an AFC East team, not when he's going to kick your ass twice a year.
But also, hey, how about the supporting cast? How about being with, for both of these guys?
Yes.
Now they got a little bit more air, when they run the ball. I mean, man, this is the number one rush defense. Henry was getting 10, 15 a pop. Charlie, they were blasting him.
He looks like a Raven. And the reason when they're right, I still think this is the best team in the league, but I can't get past it because I don't think anybody wants to tackle Derrick Henry in January when it's 25 degrees, whether the game's in Buffalo or Kansas City or Pittsburgh or Baltimore. Good luck tackling that monster when you still got to account for Lamar. But they still, what keeps me from going all in on the Ravens is
Jackson in postseason when he's got to be a quarterback and not just a runner. I mean,
but now he's got Henry for the first time. That's a big deal. But even in this regular season, they get these stupid games where they just lose their mind. They lost to the Raiders. They lost to the Browns. They lost to the Steelers when the Steelers didn't score a touchdown. And so they still
should have lost to the Bengals.
At least one of those two games,
yes,
right?
Yes,
yeah.
At least one.
So
very true.
They still have these hiccups, and the hiccups for them have been in the postseason. I can see some regular season hiccups, but if you give me all 32 teams at full strength playing at their best, I still like Baltimore better than just about anybody.
Well, he's got a running game. They had the best running game in the league last year now too. Okay,
they did. But it was all
Lamar. When they fell behind, when the Chiefs took the opening kickoff and they went down there, they panicked a little bit. And Monken's done a great job, but he panicked last year and got away from their strength last year, and that was running the ball. And the Chiefs are one of the best clutch teams in the playoffs, and the Ravens. I mean, it's still a thing. They've surrounded himself with a ton of talent. I mean, to the part where they've compromised their defense a little bit. Their pass defense is vulnerable.
Yeah,
they are really good in rush
defense.
And what it is I just didn't think that the Chargers were good enough on the outside. I mean, they're a mess on the outside. I mean, their receivers and Herbert. Well, man, he had the guy deep where he's got to put air into the ball and put it in the middle of the field. He kind of throws it over the guy's shoulder, So just they were in a better position to. They thought they had a higher probability of converting the two instead of stopping the two. And that kind of tells you where they are compared to past seasons. They've got more confidence in their offense than their defense. That's it.
Okay.
That's it. That's all it is.
Okay.
That's all it is. And it's happened before. It's worked before. But this year, I mean, we think of Baltimore. You say he's a Raven.
Yeah.
This is the defense. Huh?
The
We think about
physicality,
carrying. Oh no, they're big on.
They still do
recruit. I mean, attracting tough guys.
Yeah.
No, though that's one thing that's been constant. We're going to evaluate these guys. If they're not tough, we don't want them. Period. But they have way more confidence in their offense than they do their defense. That's
Okay,
it.
that is. I'll accept that as a reasonable explanation. When I was going to my TV, like go up 8. That's actually, I like that explanation.
Well, thank you, Charles.
Robot wins one.
Well, this is where when it flashed ESPN analytics. I mean, is Justin Tucker confident? Is he not? This guy Decker. I mean, does ESPN analytics say that guy's making everything? You ain't got to worry about him. That guy.
Dicker the kicker, yeah.
Oh, my gosh. I mean, what is it, like 47 out of 48?
He don't miss men. He don't miss men.
Don't forget our friends at Legacy Title. Chad Reynolds, Legacy Title for all your real estate closings. 296-0060. Full-service title company servicing all of South Louisiana. Fast, friendly, professional service is what you get when you call 296-0060. Our great team at Legacy Title, Ashley Donald, Mariana Haynes, Adrian Galata, Michael Platt, wishes you and your family a happy Thanksgiving.
Live at Doe's, live at lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at lunch.
With over 40 years in business representing the same manufacturer, Gulf Coast Office Products is committed to bringing 7 office equipment solutions to the Louisiana market. With flexible leasing programs available, Gulf Coast can accommodate your budget and customize invoicing requirements to help streamline your business. As official partners of LSU and ULL Athletics, Savin and Gulf Coast, with over 100 employees, care about our community and their customers. You're just one phone call away. 225-756-2644 for a free analysis. Gulf Coast Office Products.
If you're a Baton Rouge area business struggling to find employees, Tiger Labor and Staffing, a family-owned and operated business, is here to help. Whether it's light industrial work, warehousing, manufacturing, or just a little help on the job site, Tiger Labor and Staffing provides timely, professional employees to help your business get the job done. Reed Brunson and his team will handle background checks, payroll, and workers' compensation insurance. When it comes to temp staffing in Baton Rouge, whether it's a day, a week, or full-time, Tiger Labor and Staffing has the eye of the tiger. Visit the website to learn more at tigerlabor.com.
Congratulations are in order for one of my favorite places to eat, Snow's Seafood and Steaks, celebrating its 50th anniversary. That's right, since 1971, Snow's has been serving a wide assortment of menu items to please everyone. Steaks, seafood, gumbo, homemade soup, salad, specialty cocktails, great wine selection, and oh yes, the best white chocolate bread pudding that you'll find anywhere. It's the total dining experience. Happy 50th anniversary to my friends at Snow's Seafood and Steak, Airline Highway at Highway 74 in Gonzales.
Custom Colors of Baton Rouge, specializing in body and paint, feature 100% platinum certified technicians, ensuring your car or truck is being worked on by the very best of the best. Custom Colors, located in the industrial plex off Segan and Airline.
Water is water, right? Not when it's Evermore. Smooth tasting Evermore water is Mother Nature's masterpiece. Evermore is natural artesian water. Maybe you want a healthier lifestyle, a high-end athlete who wants better hydration, or a parent who wants something healthier for their kids. You want Evermore. EVAMOR. Evermore. Available at great local retailers.
Transform your home this fall with Cajun Soft Wash. Their soft washing solution removes dirt and algae without damage, enhancing your home's curb appeal and extending your roof's life. Locally owned and fully insured. Book now at CajunSoftWash.com.
We're here to examine things that get better with age, like this bottle of Chateau Lafite Rothschild, vintage 1877. Age can make things more valuable, like this Picasso from his blue period, 1904. and treasured, like this Roto-Rooter jingle, 1954.
Roto-Rooter jingle?
Just listen to it.
Oh, Roto-Rooter, that's the name. And away go troubles down the drain. Roto-Rooter.
A timeless melody.
Roto-Rooter?
The lithe arrangement.
But it's a clog-busting company.
Wrong there. Roto-Rooter has grown into more than a clog-busting company. They're North America's largest full-service plumber and drain cleaner. And when you need Roto-Rooter, remembering this jingle can be priceless.
Roto-Rooter.
For all of your plumbing and drainage solutions, call Roto-Rooter in Baton Rouge at 925-8710. That's 925-8710.
The worst corridor for sex trafficking is New Orleans to Houston. Metanoia Manor is a safe house for trafficked girls. It helps with healing and provides education and life skills. Donate now at helpprotectthesegirls.com.
Hi, this is Jake and James of Trash Rangers of Louisiana. If you switch your residential or commercial trash pickup to us, we promise to never sell your trash to the paparazzi. Seriously.
Brandon Ollie here. You want a company that has a true lifetime warranty? ReliefWindows.com, baby.
Heading out to Las Vegas, deep in the desert, lives one man. One man of many sports bets. The one and only Andy Isco.
And a Thanksgiving. We certainly give thanks to our buddy Andy Isco with us. How about Andy? How about Sunday collectively? 15-6, man. Another good week on Football Sunday. Thank you, buddy.
I was happy to contribute to the 15, not so happy to contribute to the 6s. I picked, I had 4 teams considering for that teaser. I went with, I think it was, I know the Houston was the loser along, I think, with Detroit being correct. I passed on Miami, and I think there was one other team that I really liked this week. But that was a surprise. Tennessee played surprisingly well, and what we saw there with Houston might be a signal of some issues that may continue. There are not too many teams that can boast that they lost at home to Tennessee and on the road to the Jets.
Yeah, no kidding. No, I mean the Titan Levis, but he's playing good, and boy, Charlie, he made some throws that were really nice, and then he's got to fit his pick 6 in there. I mean, but the story is Stroud, man. The sophomore slump is real. It's been masked a little bit, but some people that follow the league closely have been saying, "Hey, man, they're going to limp to it." It's how can you put your money on the Colts? Not only the Colts 2 games behind the standings, but they've already swept them, so the tiebreaker's there. Then it's highly unlikely you're going to make up 3 games the rest of the way, although they got about 3-4 game stretch to end the season that is really, really light. But Richardson threw one that was like, oh my gosh, he looked like Russell Wilson with his, throwing it up in the air, dropping it in the bucket, and then he's missing guys wide open in some critical plays. So he's the ultimate tease as far as that goes. But hey, why should we take Baltimore, the Ravens, differently this year when we get ready for money time in the postseason? Or do you, Randy?
Well, yeah, I mean, they've had their disappointments recently in the postseason. They're number 1 seed last year. But I think the AFC this year has a lot of teams that could be surprised. Kansas City clearly not playing at the level that they played at in the past. I take nothing away from the Chargers' loss last night. It was a spot that I thought favored Baltimore, and they came through after trailing early. Denver seems to be a team on a nice little run. We'll see what they can do this week. They've got certainly a very winnable game Monday night against Cleveland, which, by the way, Cleveland is in that Pittsburgh sandwich. They just played Pittsburgh, and I think they play them again the following week. And then, of course, the key game for me this week should be the Bengals. The Bengals have a chance to really help Baltimore if they can beat Pittsburgh. They're small favorites in that one. So, that's a team that has not played up to expectations despite the talent. In the East, Miami's got an opportunity to make a run. Don't know. I haven't heard today yet if Daniel Jones has signed with anybody, but he might work out in Miami if Tua gets injured again. because they've been playing extremely well. So it's wide open in the AFC. I still think Baltimore has a really good chance, but I'm really concerned if come playoff time, if they don't change things with that pass defense. It's going to be an interesting game this week against Philadelphia, because the one thing Baltimore can do, they lead the league in stopping the run, and Philadelphia has been making its wins this year with Barkley and to a lesser extent Hurts, but certainly Barkley. So this will be a good test for Baltimore, but I do question if they can survive what could be a very physical playoff season.
All right, so we got games on we've got games on Thanksgiving Day with the triple header and one on Black Friday. Any of these games catch your attention?
Well, I wonder why, Trio. Chicago, I think, last week was an important game for Chicago. We were very fortunate they get the half-point cover because they had to, I think, recover only the third onside kick this year. But they've not played really well since that bye week. They've lost all those games in a row. I was stunned last week why Detroit was only a 7-point favorite on the road at Indy, and it wasn't a blowout necessarily, but they ended up winning by double digits. I can see the same thing happening here, especially after what happened last year. And they also have to keep in mind Minnesota and Green Bay right behind them. Minnesota game back, Green Bay 2 games back. So I don't know if I'm going to play it, but I'm probably 60-40 that I'm going to play it, especially since that line has come down a little bit. I think it opened like about 11 and a half.
Yes, indeed. So it's at 10 right now, 10 and 48 and a half. I wonder that I got to believe the Lions will be a little bit more. I don't know. They may blast the Bears here, because remember how badly Green Bay beat them last year. I mean, that it was about the same type of spread, huh? Maybe 7.5. It was over 7. And I mean, Love just had his kind of his breakthrough game last year for the Green Bay Packers. The Giants is a buy low spot or a team that's tanking. I mean, which route do you go here? I mean, Dallas is favored by 4. It should be favored by 4 over anybody as long as you don't kick to Turpin.
Well, Dallas, the line actually went up. It opened. Well, the advanced line actually before last week's games had Dallas a 2-point favorite. Then, of course, the Giants go out and stink up the metropolitan area, and Dallas stuns Washington, even though they tried to, as best they can, give up that lead in that crazy fourth quarter. So the line's actually gone up, because when it was reposted Sunday night, Dallas 2.5, and it's gone up. I can understand that. I don't know it's necessarily a play on Dallas. It's got to be more that just the total dysfunction going on within the Giants right now. There's a lot of negative reaction to the Daniel Jones situation. First benching him, then making him the third string, and then releasing him, because he was very popular with the players. And I've got to believe that this Giants team, and we certainly saw it last week against Tampa Bay, there was no energy. So don't know if I can play the game, but the only side I could consider, all things considered, would be Dallas.
All right, and Green Bay, this three wins in a row for the Dolphins against. The Rams were poor that night, that Monday night game they played. But anyway, use a little inferior competition. But a cold weather game for Tua, it's not his most favorite sort of elements to try and deal with.
Yeah, and Green Bay has been playing some pretty decent defense over the last several weeks or so. Love has, it's not quite like what Stroud is doing, but he certainly has not been able to follow up after some initial success this season. But I do like the Packers in this spot. It'll probably end up being a play. Don't think I'll use it in any of the contests. I haven't seen the contest lines yet, but I would imagine it'll be probably 3.5. But I do think it's a good spot for Green Bay, because they do have some tough games coming up. And although Miami can't afford the loss, this is one game that I did have them pegged in, even as they were struggling without Tua, that it's a game that they were likely going to lose. I wouldn't be surprised by the upset, but they are expecting very cold temperatures in the 20s, and that would work against Tua based upon his established history in these cold weather games.
All right, anything in rivalry for college football that you're looking at?
I'm still sort of going through a lot of the things. There are some important games. I wouldn't be surprised if Colorado, especially with the Heisman Trophy situation, does a number on a defenseless Oklahoma State team. I mean, they're laying a big number, and they were blindsided last week by a Kansas team that had been playing very well, and I don't think a lot of people were all that surprised by the upset. I know I had Kansas on the money line, so that's one game. I might look. I don't know. It's a rivalry game here, but I'd look for Navy to get back on track, laying just I think 1 right now at East Carolina. And Mac Jones has announced that he is coming back to coach North Carolina next year. At least he hopes to, if the administration agrees it. Then
I know he's been
this
fired.
Is a rivalry game against NC State and Ohio State. I know it's a big number, but the seniors have never beaten this Michigan team.
Yeah, Andy, Mac got fired a couple hours ago, so he's done.
Oh, he did. Okay,
First time in his football career he's been fired. So
Yeah. I was surprised that they wouldn't at least let him coach the last game.
He's going to coach Saturday.
Not the bowl.
Probably not. They didn't announce it yet, but
Carolina
probably
turns
not
out
the
to
bowl.
be a play because he was popular amongst his players.
Yeah, so they're going to move on. One of the easier schedules, though, in the year where, poor Purdue's playing Michigan, Ohio State, Oregon, and Penn State. Teams like Rutgers doesn't play any of them. North Carolina did not play Miami.
Oh, by the way, Indiana's another one. They should lay it on Purdue, but they're playing for style points after what happened at Ohio State because they could easily be left out. And now the SEC with the losses by we talked Sunday with the losses by Ole Miss and Alabama opened up the path for Indiana to still be a one team, but they got to go out there and win by like 50.
Odds makers
have a chance.
Odds makers. It's available at the Queen Casino at the DraftKings Sportsbook, but minus 2,000. You're laying 20-1. For Indiana to make the playoffs, so certainly the odds.
I would. The only way I would play it would be to take the plus, even though I would expect to lose. But that's to lay 20, to lay minus 2,000. That's asking a little too much.
Yeah, I don't even know if they. The plus is plus 1,000, plus 1,000,
which is a bad spread, which makes it not based on the price they're setting for the favorite. That's a horrible take back.
Yeah. So Notre Dame is minus 650. Tennessee minus 500, Boise minus 300, and then we talked about this yesterday, and we've seen a little movement since yesterday on the three SEC teams that might be vying for one of those spots, and that is Alabama's plus 180, South Carolina plus 340, Ole Miss now is the longest shot at plus 360. They were the second shot yesterday, so people losing faith in Ole Miss.
I'm surprised Boise State said short of a number. I guess Oregon State woke up last week against Wazoo. That's the only game they got left. They win there, and I know they got the championship. They got the championship game, but they've already beaten them once.
But it was close. It was competitive.
It was a competitive game.
Playing in Vegas again.
Yeah, that's right. Championship game is in Vegas.
It's that's basically what that is. That's probably close to the money line on the game.
They're a 3-touchdown choice against Oregon State this weekend, but.
Okay, so they got Oregon State too.
Yeah,
that's that beat Washington State this past week.
11:00 Friday, we'll be able to watch. Right, when we start the show.
Wow, in like 9:00 local time.
Yeah,
by the way, all 134 FBS teams are playing this week. I think that's the first time ever, and Penn State's a big number against Maryland. But I think with what happened with Indiana right now, regardless of what the Hoosiers do this week, they could win 100-3. Penn State, I think, has locked up the number 3 spot in the Big Ten. The 3 teams going in there, so they deserve to be a long shot. But let's see what happens with Alabama Auburn this week.
Yeah, they had their scare this past weekend at Minnesota.
Oh, and by the way, the winner of Texas A&M goes, so that could also be another fly in the ointment that probably eliminates. If A&M wins this game because they weren't going to be picked, that throws things into even more confusion with another team from the SEC probably with a 3-loss team not having a chance.
Seems
now.
like Alabama, Ole Miss, and South Carolina are pulling for Texas to win that game.
Yes.
Texas is in regardless, so.
I can't see anything that would stop them.
Yeah,
I'm going to root for Auburn. How about that?
There you go. I mean, that's
general principle. I'm going to root for Auburn.
That line about a month ago would have been closer to 17 than 11.
Mm-hmm.
So you've got Auburn on a little bit of a run, and the quarterback played better. He played pretty good.
He's just not turning the ball over. They just do that.
By the way, don't make a big deal about Auburn going 4 overtimes. That's probably about an extra 8 plays, including those 2 2-point conversion attempts. Because people are always saying, well, the team's going to be tired because of playing all those overtimes. No. You don't play that many plays in the overtime.
No, they'll be fine. They'll be fine in that. Andy, have a great Thanksgiving, man. We will talk to you on Sunday for Football Sunday.
Yes, happy Thanksgiving to you and all the staff, all your colleagues, and all the listeners.
All right. Don't forget our friends at K&M Automotive on Segan near Perkins. Segan and Perkins, right in front of the Winn-Dixie, across Segan Lane from Ambrosia Bakery. Whatever you need done on your vehicle, 4x4 services, AC repair, alignment, brakes, domestic cars and trucks, electrical services, electronic services, engine and transmission. Your check engine light comes on, bring it in. We will figure out what's going on there. We could provide towing, tires, just oil changes as well. All of your undercar services at K&M Automotive. They're open 7:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. Monday through Friday. It's the only place I take my vehicle. Tell Jason Payne you heard us talking about him right here on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge. K&M Automotive, Segan, Perkins, Cross, Segan from Ambrosia Bakery.
Live at Doe's, live at lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at lunch.
The holidays are here, and you know what that means. Time to give a gift you'll never forget. At Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry, they've got the classics every woman loves. Stunning diamond studs, sparkling tennis bracelets, and stackable rings that will make her eyes light up. Everyone wants that red box under the tree, and Lee Michaels makes it easy to find the perfect gift. With locations in Baton Rouge, Lafayette, Shreveport, and New Orleans, plus online at lmfj.com, Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry is your destination to unforgettable gifts this holiday season. Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry, where every box has a story.
In Louisiana, it's not if you're going to need a home standby generator. The question is when. Optimized Generator People are Louisiana's largest and best full-service Generac dealership with 4 locations covering all of South Louisiana from Lake Charles to Slidell. And they only do one thing: home standby Generac generators. Prepare now so you can stop worrying about not having emergency power when you need it. It's optimized. GeneratorPeople.com. GeneratorPeople.com.
With all of the financial headlines, are you worried if your retirement savings will last? The market's ups and downs can keep you guessing, especially if you're approaching retirement or considering it. If you have more questions and answers about what's next, let's work together to help ensure you're prepared for your journey. After all, retirement isn't the end of the trek, it's a new beginning. Stop by your local Edward Jones advisor. Tex Morris on Jefferson. Edward Jones, member SIPC.
Baton Rouge's best kept secret won't be a secret much longer. Tallulah Restaurant inside the Renaissance Hotel. This isn't a hotel restaurant. It's a casual, upscale dining experience, which happens to be inside the Renaissance Hotel. Open daily for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, Tallulah is the perfect spot for that business lunch or that elegant night on the town. For reservations or to view the menu, visit TallulahRestaurant.com. That's TallulahRestaurant.com.
Harness the Boudreaux boost when storms loom. Boudreaux's Electrical powers your life with top-tier Generac home standby generators. Dial Boudreaux's Electrical for energy that endures, because with us, you're never powerless. Visit BoudreauxElectrical.com.
That was one hell of a game, huh?
Head to 104.5 ESPN's YouTube channel for Whiskey and Wine with Moscona and T-Bob. Coming at you live and rowdy from Don Juan's Cigar Bar all season long, immediately after the game. Sponsored by Got Lid and Home Fields Apparel.
The Grand Bayou Casino, conveniently located off I-10 at exit 139 in Grostead, offers the latest video poker machines 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And a great staff at the Grand Bayou Casino. Our inviting staff will greet you with complimentary coffee and sodas as you enjoy listening to the curated tunes in our comfortable seating. Make the trip to the Grand Bayou Casino, where players are welcome. The Grand Bayou Casino, I-10 at the Grostead exit. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, call 1-877-770-STOP. The Grand Bayou Casino.
Finding the right personnel for your organization can be a challenge. At Glow Resources, we take that job seriously, but not ourselves. We place the best people into the right job. Glow Resources, complete employee solutions. GlowResources.com.
Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. 5 brands on one lot. Shop BayouAutomotive.com.
Live at lunch with Ott and Hanny from Doe's Eat Place on Government Street on 104.5 ESPN, Baton Rouge.
A couple little coaching notes. We led the show with Mac Brown. Dawson Odom's former Southern coach is not going to be retained at Norfolk State. And at Rice, they have hired a coach. This is a new one, right? You hire a coach before your season is done. And firing the coach, we get that all the time. They hired the coach at Davidson Scott Abel, who's got 7 consecutive winning seasons in a row. I can't remember the only one.
Jim Moore Jr.
Yeah, because he was out of work at UConn. Because he wasn't coaching. I can't remember a coach that was actually coaching somewhere else, taking another job before the season was over.
Can you remember the last time the SEC didn't have anybody fired?
Ooh. The year after COVID, maybe, because everybody was on budget. No, probably not. Auburn might have fired somebody that year. Was that
Nobody's getting fired.
Was that nobody's getting fired?
Napier was at the top of the list.
Napier was at the top of the list. He's sticking around. I'm with you on Stoops. I think he sticks around.
Hey, they don't want to pay him all that money.
No, they don't.
I mean, he's got
they
another-
do have
they
they got
had
the red ass at him about the A&M thing, but I don't think they're
I
gonna fire
got you,
him.
but you know they could give two craps about the A&M flirtation if he was 6-2 this year. He's not. This is his worst season.
No, it's
there.
two things in conjunction.
He's going to with 6 straight. I mean, no,
30?
like 9 straight bowl games after not going to, or 8 straight bowl games. They'll break that streak.
And Pittman's okay at Arkansas at 6-5.
Yeah,
I think so. Yeah,
I don't think anybody's getting
nobody in the SEC. Wow. Okay.
Add 4 more teams.
Hour number 2, first class, second class, no class, straight ahead here at Doe's Eat Place on Government Street in Mid-City. Live at lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at lunch.
Electric Man of Baton Rouge is here to help with 24/7 residential and commercial electrical services. With years of experience, Electric Man aims to deliver fast and dedicated electrical services without compromising safety, quality, and integrity. Licensed and insured professionals to do the job for you worry-free. Electric Man offers guaranteed appointment times and free estimates, offering veteran and senior discounts also. Find Electric Man at electricmanbatonrouge.com to schedule your guaranteed appointment time. electricmanbatonrouge.com, 225-800-7065.
GMFS, changing lives. T. Brown here, CEO of GMFS Mortgage, which we started in Baton Rouge in 1999. Thanks to you, we're celebrating our 25th anniversary. That's 25 years of helping thousands of you get into your dream homes, 25 years of helping thousands of you refinance to the best rate possible, and 25 years of helping many of you consolidate debts. The last 25 years would not have been possible without you, our clients, and our over 200 employees who come together every day through our Baton Rouge area offices and headquarters to provide you with award-winning customer service. If you're in the market to buy, build, renovate, or refinance, do what thousands of Louisianans have done over the past 25 years. Go to gmfsmortgage.com to start the process now and give us a chance to personally say thank you. GMFS, changing lives.
GMFS NMLS number 64997 is an equal housing lender. Mortgages are originated at 7389 Florida Boulevard, Suite 200A, Baton Rouge, LA 70806, subject to credit and property approval.
Baseball and softball players of all levels get the competitive edge you've been looking for at Total Diamond Performance. Do the same lessons, camps, classes, and clinics used by top college and MLB organizations. Everything from mental performance, in-game video, and data analysis to improve pitching, throwing velocity, bat speed, and fielding. Total Diamond Performance is tailored around the individual player to build strength and athleticism while also cleaning up mechanical deficiencies. Matt Mastretta applies what he's learned working in player development with college and MLB teams. Total Diamond Performance, 931-3730. That's 931-3730.
Hey, pet parents. With Progressive's collision coverage, you get extra protection for your cat or dog because there's nothing worse than seeing your pet hurt. Like when you see their face after accidentally stepping on their tail, and you say, "I'm so sorry, Mr. Pickles." But as you kiss his nose and rub his little belly welly, you know Mr. Pickles is thinking, "You betrayed me." Anywho, Progressive pays up to $1,000 in vet bills if your pet is injured in an auto accident. Learn more at Progressive.com and watch where you step. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Collision coverage subject to policy terms. Not available in all states.
This Thanksgiving at Total Wine & More, find bourbons and Cabernets that you adore. Our helpful guides are so friendly and nice. So many bottles to try at the lowest price. So gather with friends as you sit down to eat. Grateful for all who made Thanksgiving complete.
With curbside pickup and delivery available and the lowest prices for over 30 years, you'll always find what you love and love what you find. Only at Total Wine & More.
Drink responsibly, B21.
Winter is coming, Baton Rouge. Stay warm and cozy with a new energy-efficient Rheem HVAC system from Capital City Comfort. This November, take advantage of special financing and expert installation on all new units. Visit CapitalCityComfortVR.com today. Your comfort is our priority.
1, 2, 3.
The 2024 College Football Pick'em presented by Hooters is underway. Get your picks in now at 1045ESPN.com. This year, weekly winners will receive a Hooters wing party for 10 people. And the first place season-long champion will win a 75-inch 4K TV, soundbar, and free Hooters wings for an entire year. It's the 2024 College Football Pick'em presented by Hooters. Swinging it since 1983. Get those picks in now at 1045ESPN.com.
Insurance companies have teams of professionals to fight your claim. If you want to know what your case is really worth, I'm Spencer Callahan. I'd like to help.
Spencer Callahan is the one to see. Call 387-2323.
LA filing number 16-7970.
WNXX Jackson, KNXX Donaldsonville, and WDGL HD2 Baton Rouge. This hour brought to you by Spencer Callahan Injury Lawyers. LA 21 12681. Offices in Baton Rouge. Live at lunch, first class.
I want a seat in first class where I was booked and ticketed over a month ago.
Second class.
No man should be subjected to the indignity of being labeled or treated like a second-class citizen.
And no class.
Life had become like school on Sunday. No class. I'll tell you what then. Why don't you call me sometime when you have no class?
First class, second class, and no class. Brought to you by Supreme Rice. Buy local with Louisiana-based Supreme Rice since 1936.
Of course, our first class clip in there comes from the Holiday Classic Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, which will be on a loop on Thursday. If you haven't seen it, it's worth 2 hours of your time. It's one of the funniest movies that you'll ever see. Steve Martin and the late John Candy. All right, first class. Let me start out with some what I think has been some really strong coaching jobs this year. There's been a lot of them, but I'm going to, besides the obvious one with Kirk Cignetti at Indiana, who's going to win Coach of the Year in a walk and should. So let me give you some from the next tier. Rob Dillingham at Arizona State, 9-2. Since September, they have one loss, and it was without their starting quarterback, Sam Levitt. The last 2 weeks, they've gone to Kansas State and won, and beaten BYU in what was a game they had to have. They wanted to stay in contention for the Big 12 championship. He's got a really good quarterback in Levitt. Scatteraboo is a really fun player to watch. He's a tough, just really good running back. And that defense is better than I thought they were, just having looked at them at the beginning of the season. And now Rob Dillingham is right there. Marcus Freeman at Notre Dame. Okay, they had the ultimate hiccup game against Northern Illinois. But since then, there's only been one team within a touchdown of Notre Dame, and that was Louisville, a game that Notre Dame largely controlled. They're 10-1. They should win this week and get to 11-1 and be in the playoffs. They should host a playoff game. We'll see if they're any good. The schedule has been a little bit lacking, but all you can play is all you can play. And Notre Dame, since that loss, which was just so shocking, has won them all since and won them all pretty convincingly. And then Billy Napier. After September was a disaster for them. An overtime loss at Tennessee, wins against Kentucky, LSU, and Ole Miss. Losses to Georgia and Texas when he really didn't have his quarterback at all against Texas, and barely had his quarterback against Georgia. And the Georgia game was at least respectable. If Lagway plays the whole way, do they beat Georgia? Probably not. But I would have loved to watch the rest of that game. So Billy Napier, maybe if they had a sitting president, he wouldn't have survived. Maybe if he didn't have such a great relationship with Lagway, but that's part of the work that you put in. He might not have made it, but he has made it, and Florida has come a long way. So first class to those three guys, Dillingham, Freeman, and Napier.
I think Riley Leonard has improved. It's first-year quarterback with his new supporting cast, and I think that they're starting to see some improvement, but just more chemistry with, he and his parts. He was uncomfortable throwing the ball. It was ugly, even in the win at College Station to start the season. But he's more proficient. We know he's tough. We know he's mobile, kind of like a strong safety playing quarterback, but he's playing better. I just wonder about their lack of schedule, how it might, we're talking about the theme to open a show where the Chargers, Commanders, and Broncos are they're having great years, but they can't really compete with it's kind of the Army, Navy's, Indiana's this year. When they've stepped up, they've really hadn't slapped down to the bigger competition. So, but you know, I mean, hey, we talk about those hires: Kelly, Venables, Napier, Lincoln Riley. But Notre Dame made their hire the same year as well.
That's right. That's right.
So, you see, outperforming everybody. That's schedule related.
Yeah, the first thing is going to be what kind of schedule
so
you play.
ACC, you didn't play Clemson, you didn't play Miami, you didn't play SMU. I mean, the ACC schedule, man, is just so bad, man. It's just bad.
And some of the teams that you play every year.
But Florida State was
well, I'm talking about but besides the ACC things, USC, they were good the first year he was there. They haven't been as good since. Stanford is in a down, is not nearly what they were at the height of David Shaw's. Those are permanent games on their schedule. Those teams haven't been great the last several years, so that doesn't help his argument at all.
Tricky spot. USC is playing better.
Last 2 weeks they had
running
a
game.
quarterback change. His sparked them a little bit.
It's a little tricky spot. I mean, I'll be surprised if Notre Dame loses though.
Second class, good with a chance to be great. 3:30 this afternoon. Chris Sinak he's playing at Link Academy in Branson, Missouri this year, but he is a New Orleans native, went to Newman. 6'10", top 10 player in the country. Highest rated player from Louisiana since Javonte Smart. We're going back 6 seasons. And, Jimmy, this is not a surprise for us, but it's a shock to my system. You and I, when we were in the 90s, called a lot of high school basketball in the state. We did top 24s and then top 28s. We were down in Lafayette. We'd call games in the Assembly Center. And we saw some great high school basketball in Louisiana. And some of the prospects, not just the ones that played at LSU, but the ones that went all over the place. And it's a long list in the 90s and into the 2000s. It's not the case anymore. And for Louisiana, as rich as it is in football recruiting, the basketball recruiting has dried up. It shocked me that Sinak, we're going to call him a Louisiana kid, even though he's at Link this year. It's the first top 50 guy in the country in 6 seasons. Wow. And you just never saw it. Louisiana always had 1 or 2, and then you had that flood the year that John Brady went to the Final Four, that 2 or 3 year period where you had Glenn Davis and Brandon Bass and Tasman Mitchell and Garrett Tyrus Thomas.
I was drafted out.
That was and Darryl Mitchell was out of St. Martinville. That was an unusual rush, but you always had a few. You just haven't, and so I don't know if LSU is going to get him. They feel good about their spot. Houston has made a big run, and a lot of people think that that's where he's headed. We'll find out at 3:30 this afternoon. Good with a chance to be great. The 6'10" Chris Sinak.
Lester Earl, Stromal Swift, Dwayne Spencer, Greedy and Dino Daniels, Randy Livingston, Perry McDonald, Jaron Jackson, Greg Monroe, Melvin Simon, Tyrus Thomas. I mean,
Chris Duhon, Brandon Dean, Eugene Edgerson.
Fess Irvin, Dwayne Bryant. I mean, we go on, and Joey Brown. I mean, they got. So many players that have come through.
Marcus Pfizer. Remember Marcus Pfizer went to Iowa State.
I called both of their state championship games against Southern Lab. When big swagoo man, he could play. It's soft hands for a big guy. Lasted about 2 practices with John Brady, but I mean, but he man, players all over. Melvin Bratton was he was the guard for Arcadia on that team. Wally's had too many teams. Honeycutt, who settled on Tulane from Grambling, Southern Lab.
Gosh. Oh, that was heartbreaking.
Southern Lab was up, but I mean, you got so. I mean,
Shannon
you got
Foreman and Devin
so
Clark
many
played over Southern.
players, man, that come through. Yeah. We've got more of a football state. There's no doubt.
Just not as many of those guys. All right, no class. I'm going to go easy on Quentin Johnson from last night. There's been enough people jumping on him. But he got to catch the football. A little quick one to Dan Hurley. You're a 2-time national championship coach. There's no reason to have a coronary on a game at the Maui Classic. Okay, it was a bad call. It's not the worst call I've ever seen in the history of basketball. You ain't got to fall on the floor like you, Fred Sanford, having a heart attack. Okay, I mean, I don't want to say act like you've been there. You're a two-time national championship coach. You don't have to make a federal case out of an over-the-back call at a game in November. So ease up, lighten up, Francis. Come on.
This is the same guy who has made contact and trying to intimidate opposing players.
Yeah.
Kind of grabbed other players. Okay. Which you do not. And and he's just not reprimanded, and he's getting away with some stuff. And, Saban was a complete a-hole, with the he wouldn't have got away with some of the stuff and some of how he treated people if he wasn't winning big. Belichick the same way. Forget, now he's all cheery on the Manning cast, and Saban's, giggling at everything McAfee says on game day. But here's another guy, man, he's getting away with a lot of stuff, especially the man, you stay off my players. You don't talk to my players. Bro, you coach your team and stay the hell. He's got it coming. Somebody somewhere, whether it, and I don't think it's the commissioner of the league, because he's not strong enough to do it, but an opposing coach or somebody is going to give, because this guy he's out of control. He's out of control.
He literally falls on the floor, and he got good for the referee for teeing him up, but it reminded me a little bit of Bobby Knight.
Man. Great coach, but a real
probably should have been run yesterday. Probably should have been. And I realized the Maui Classic, and they got this two-time national championship team here and coach here. You don't want to run off the attraction, but if this is a regular Big East game, they should have run him.
I mean, he should have been thrown out the championship game when he's bumping Edie.
Yeah,
going into a timeout. What are you doing? Man, what are y'all doing?
You know better.
If you don't step in and act forcefully, you're gonna get what you get. And he's gonna, and well, did anything happen?
He got teed up.
Okay,
but
all right.
I mean, one.
Yeah,
could have easily got two and got shown the door. But that's not
it's hard to pull for.
Yes, he's becoming very hard to pull for. The rankings come out tonight for the college football playoff. There'll be the usual Tuesday night outrage. Let me just say this about the Southeastern Conference before Sankey or Paul Feinbaum or whoever else gets on their high horse about this. If you want to say you're the Premier League, and for 15 years or more they have been, no argument there, then at some point you got to be able to defend your resume, not your resume from the last 15 years, your current resume. So if you're these teams that are on the fringe, for the playoffs, like Tennessee, you have to explain why you lost to a 6-5 Arkansas team. And if you're Alabama, you have to explain why you lost to 2 6-5 teams. And if you're South Carolina, you have to explain how you lost to a 7-4 LSU team at home and got clobbered by Ole Miss, who has lost 3 games.
Well, they could show a couple of calls.
And if you're
injured quarterback,
and if you're a Missouri team, you have to explain how you haven't beaten anybody with over 6 wins. Listen, I know we love to talk about the depth in the Southeastern Conference, but we've somehow taken it for gospel that Oklahoma and Florida are better than Michigan and Iowa, despite the fact that they've all got the same record. And it's just not necessarily so because you say it's so, or Michigan and Wisconsin or Nebraska is 6-5. We've convinced ourselves that the 6-5 teams are better in the SEC than they are in the Big Ten. Why?
Because they got more pros playing in the SEC than those schools every year.
Fair enough, but it doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to win. They've certainly had the contenders in the SEC have gone with talent advantages and lost. Alabama's done it a couple of times. Ole Miss has done it a couple of times. Tennessee's done it at least once. At some point you have to say, you have to be able to defend your resume, and it's got to be on more than just, well, we were favored or we're sending these guys to the pros. Why is a 6-5 Arkansas team considered superior to a 6-5 Nebraska? Because we say so? Because they're in the SEC? Because they're going to get more guys drafted? I mean, at some point you have to land on your record, okay? And you said, well, Indiana, hadn't played anybody. Imagine if they played an SEC schedule. I don't have to imagine it. I saw Texas' schedule. Okay, they played one team and got the crap beat out of them. Same thing as Indiana. So if you're going to be indignant about the SEC, the big bad SEC, look at the record. Really look at the record, because most of the time this benefits the SEC. When we've gotten into these CFP conversations, and why does the SEC get 2 out of 4 in? Because Georgia and Alabama were better than everybody else. okay? Because LSU in 2019 was better than everybody else. But you lose a little bit of your argument when you're trying to defend an Alabama team that's lost to 2 6-5 teams. So before you get on your high horse tonight, and Feinbaum especially has been beating this drum. We're the SEC. We're this. Check the record, okay? Because it ain't all that this particular year.
Oh, Charlie, I got some issues with that stance. First of all the SEC, you can tell me the schedule doesn't matter in college football. I mean, we'll just go to commercial right now.
No, the schedule does matter.
I mean, come on. Okay, well, guess what? All the SEC teams don't have equal schedules.
They don't.
Okay, well, you're just lumping everybody in together.
No, I'm lumping in the teams that are on the cusp
and there's some conditions as well. You play Florida with this Ivy League quarterback, or you playing with Mertz or Lagway.
Texas is hard. Texas's schedule is hard to defend.
Okay, all right. Well, Texas is going to get in. They can lose, and they're getting in.
This is more about Tennessee, Alabama, Ole Miss, South Carolina, and maybe Texas.
Schedule is like, they won their one close game. They won, at home in a very tight game against Alabama. I mean, so Ole Miss has a couple of things going against them. The non-conference schedule, the toughest game. Wake Forest is your toughest game of the 4. That's garbage. Okay, and you get what you get. Win that, and then you lose to 1-7 Kentucky at home. Okay, that's hard to read, and I think Kiffin knows that they're done. With his reactions after the game. But if you're gonna tell me that saying, Georgia loses,
I never mentioned Georgia on purpose. Georgia's fine.
So you're lumping everybody together. The SEC.
No, I listed them: Tennessee, Alabama, but South Carolina, Missouri, and Texas A&M.
All right, South Carolina, their quarterback got hurt. Their quarterback. You don't think South Carolina's schedule is tough?
I think
you don't think South Carolina is proven?
I think South Carolina is the best one out of all of those teams.
Look at their non-conference schedule too.
Yeah. But
okay, I mean, they're going to have, if they go to Clemson and beat them. I mean, I know Clemson is not the usual self, but it's better win. Who's Penn State's best win?
Penn State doesn't have a good
Minnesota. Saturday. All they could handle.
Okay, who's better, LSU or Iowa? I'm asking for a reason.
Iowa.
Okay, Iowa.
No, LSU.
Okay,
LSU.
They're both 7-4. South Carolina lost to LSU at home.
Can Iowa on the best day beat Ole Miss? They no damn way. No damn way.
You say that they lost to Kentucky.
Okay, going to Iowa City is the same as going to Tiger Stadium that night in Tiger Stadium.
See, you're watching the same Ole Miss I'm watching. That when they're at their best.
No. You're asking me if LSU is better than Iowa. In LSU that night in Tiger Stadium, Iowa can't do that. Can't do that.
Okay, but their record is the same. They're both 7-4.
You're the problem.
I'm the problem?
Yes, you're that. We just look at the record. You just look at the record.
Okay.
Well, no, man. These schedules with from conference to conference and within the conference. Everybody kills on Purdue. Purdue's awful, right?
Yeah.
Well, guess what? Compare their schedule to Rutgers. It might be flip flop.
Rutgers.
It's
a lot harder.
Purdue plays Michigan, Ohio State, Penn State, Oregon. Rutgers plays none. I mean, what the hell is that? So all the schedules within this thing, and I'm sorry, but there's places within the Big Ten. Man, we're just lumping into Big Ten because now they're our financial partner, because they are so sound, because they're in such big, strong markets, and they have financial stability. But damn it, to just give, the Big Ten's going to get 4, and the SEC might not even get 4. You telling me the Big Ten deserves more than the SEC? You're off your damn rocker.
I've never
because
said
the records are bad. Because you just want to stick to the records.
No, I want to talk about the holes in these SEC teams' resumes. Okay, Alabama's lost to 2 6-5 teams.
I just named you teams that are gone, that are definitely in, and they got holes.
Well, they've got
Penn State based because they have a favorable schedule. Your best win is Minnesota, and you're a lock. That's a problem, dude.
Okay, it is, but you have to take into account these games that they've lost when they were so much better. Alabama and Ole Miss have got real problems with losses on their schedule of teams they never should have lost to.
Alabama lost to Vandy
and Oklahoma, who are both 6-5.
Okay.
Yes,
those are damaging losses.
And Ole Miss has lost to a 6-5 Florida team.
They're not going to be the top 12.
Yeah.
You don't think there's going to be a fourth team in the SEC, and you don't think a fourth team in the SEC deserves to be in?
I think a fourth team in the SEC could deserve to be in, but it ain't those two. It ain't Alabama, and it ain't Ole Miss. I could make a better case for South Carolina if they finish 9-3.
I could listen to that.
Yeah.
No, that's different.
You know,
No, I can too. And I mean, going on the road and basically losing on a 2-point conversion, that's not embarrassing. You were way competitive when you went to Alabama.
You got one really bad game.
And man, that was a conditional loss to LSU. I mean, that's a tough break. I mean, if we're going to keep a team home because they lost their quarterback, for a half. LSU's not winning the game.
No. LSU definitely would have lost that game if Sellers plays the second half.
And here's the thing where Ole Miss, they might be the talented, but they're not deserving. I mean, if you want to get into best teams, Ole Miss is one of the best teams, but Ole Miss, they went in big boyed South Carolina when their stadium was full and they were ready to get into it, where they've been really tough at home, and they just didn't. South Carolina couldn't stay on the same field with Ole Miss at their place, but you can't lose to 1-7.
Yeah,
and get the benefit of the doubt. You can't, at home. Why did they lose to 1-7? Because they're not mature and they want to give up extra possession. Well, then if and your coach is talking about he got his wish. He didn't want to play in the SEC championship game. No problem. You're out.
Yeah, you're out.
Yeah, don't have to worry about that
you
anymore.
You can't lose to 2, 6, and 5 teams and just say, "Well, we beat Georgia and that's it."
no,
No,
that's not just it, but that's part of it. Who can beat Georgia?
You got to win against
Who can
Georgia.
beat Georgia?
To me, 2, 6, and 5 losses.
Texas is automatically in. Alabama,
Alabama's
who performed better than Georgia against
Georgia's
in? Who performed better? There's pluses and minuses, Charlie. That's why it's Alabama's in the mix. South Carolina's in the mix. Ole Miss, I think that the difference there. That's the difference. Is that Kentucky loss at home?
Well, that's the biggest blemish on any of these.
That's
these
1-7,
record.
baby.
But Alabama losing to 2, 6, and 5 teams is pretty damn close.
That's bad.
Yeah.
But no, not on the road. Not on the road.
First class, second class, no class. Brought to you by
Vandy beat Kentucky at their place. Vandy beat them. Oklahoma didn't play Kentucky.
The Kentucky loss is the worst one.
And it's not only that, but that's just called. They played nobody non-conference. At least Alabama went to Madison, Wisconsin. There's your 6 and 5 team, right? 5 and 6 team.
I think they're 5 and 6. Actually.
Okay, how did Bama do compared to your 6 and 5 team in Nashville or Norman, Oklahoma?
They also got.
How'd they do, Charlie? Just stick to the results, Charlie.
Well, they also beat. If we're going to talk about injuries all the time, they also beat Missouri when Cook was basically out of the game.
They were going to beat them anyway. Yeah,
wouldn't have been 34-0.
No, of course not. No, it was worse than the score. That was Cook. That was bad. No, that was conditional. That's like playing Florida with the Ivy League quarterback. They were that level quarterback play that day. I'll guarantee that.
First class, second class, no class, brought to you by Supreme Rice and SupremeRice.com. Look, you're getting some things together for Thanksgiving here just in a couple of days. Make it with Supreme Rice. The parboiled rice, the newest
Had it rolling last night.
All right, what you make?
Beans, red beans,
red
Monday.
Beans, yeah.
Monday.
Why is it parboiled rice? You've cooked with a lot more.
Restaurant quality style rice. Forever, I could not figure it out. I just wasn't using the right style of rice. It is a high quality, high premium rice, and it's now our newest line of products. It's available wherever you find your Supreme Rice products on a regular basis.
Supreme Rice, part of the Climate Smart program. They're talking about reducing methane emissions and water conservation so future generations of rice farmers can reap the benefits. Supreme Rice and SupremeRice.com. Take a break here. Live at lunch, live at Doe's, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
This hour of Live at Lunch with Ott and Hanny is brought to you by Dana Brown at the law offices of O.C. Brown, 343-1111 and OCBrown.com. Roto-Rooter for all your plumbing needs, 925-8710. Supreme Rice, grown, milled, processed in Louisiana since 1936. United Community Bank, the local way to bank big. Lofton Staffing Services, 924-0200 and Lofton.jobs. Tex Morris at Edward Jones Investments on Jefferson Highway, 928-8659. Total Maintenance, your one-stop shop for AC, electrical, generators, and plumbing. Service today, every day for Total Maintenance. The LSU Alumni Association and the Cook Hotel and Conference Center. For reservations, thecookhotel.com.
Now that it's cooler outside, this is the perfect time of year to get new windows, doors, and siding by calling me, Tommy, from Tommy's Windows, Doors, and Siding. So set up your free quote today at gotommys.com. That's GEAUX, Tommys.com.
Own a European car? Dex European has lowered their basic maintenance cost on most European models, starting at $99, and this promo is here to stay. Exceptional care at a more affordable price. Plus, no long waits. Book today, get service tomorrow. Visit VexEuropean.com.
Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here, it's bigger game days and bolder fight nights. I mean, where else can you find a scratch kitchen that always comes in clutch? Every day, from lunch to late night. Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar.
When you've been in the industry for over 20 years, you learn a few things. For one thing, you learn your product inside and out. But you also learn how to ask the right questions and give satisfying answers. Jim's Firearms.
The Live at Lunch with Ott and Hanny Restaurant Club. Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar, downtown facing Town Square. At Jolie Pearl, we're pretty shucking good. Louisiana Lanyap on Perkins and Bluebonnet, winner of the most 225's Best of Awards. Snow Seafood and Steak for over 50 years on Airline, Highway, and Highway 74 in Gonzales. Dozy Place for hand-cut steaks on Government Street and Mid-City. Louis Cafe, a Baton Rouge landmark since 1941. Just outside the north gates of LSU. Fin Bomb, sushi, burrito, poke, ramen at Burbank and Lee, and Phil's Oyster Bar since 1950 on Government Street and now in the South Downs Shopping Center.
Power outages can strike at any time. 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge is ready with our Shoots Electric Power Outage Tracker. For the latest information on any outages affecting Louisiana, head to 1045ESPN.com. Powered by Shoots Electric and 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
As we all live longer, age is really just a number, but retirement is so much more than one. Edward Jones Financial Advisors want to know what you want out of your retirement so we can help you get there. Together, we can look at the big picture and make a strategy to help you reach your goals. Because you can't prepare for the unexpected if you don't know where you're headed. Call your local Edward Jones office to schedule an appointment today. Edward Jones, member SIPC. In Denham Springs, call Sims White. And in Donaldsonville, call Matt LeBlanc.
Keep your business looking pristine year-round with Cajun Soft Wash. Their gentle, effective soft washing cleans every surface safely, maintaining your property's value and appeal. Trusted in Baton Rouge for over 10 years. Visit CajunSoftWash.com today.
People ask me all the time, where's a good place to go eat? My lock that never misses? Louisiana Lanyap. I've never had anybody disappointed. The snapper and papillote and the cocodrie are staples. Some of my favorites start off with the marinated crab claws or the oysters lanyap. For an entree, seafood stuffed bell peppers. Got a little kick to them now, so watch out. And blueberry bread pudding for dessert. Nobody has collected more 225 Best of Awards in Louisiana Lanyap. 9990 Perkins Road near Bluebonnet, where you always get a little something extra.
If you're tired of erosion and mud and want your lawn looking its best, winter is the easiest time to lay grass sod. Let Quality Sod help you select the perfect grass for your lawn. For winter sale prices, call 610-4842 or QualitySod.com.
Hi, this is Jake and James of Trash Rangers of Louisiana. Tired of getting political text messages? At Trash Rangers, we only text you to remind you to put out your trash. Go to TrashRangers.com.
Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. 5 brands on one lot. Shop BayouAutomotive.com.
Live at Lunch with Ott and Hanny from Doe's Eat Place on Government Street on 104.5 ESPN, Baton Rouge.
Charlie, I did a little research, but certainly with your commentary there, I just, Les Miles just texted me and said, thank God you weren't on the BCS committee in 2007. Huh?
I appreciate that.
Yeah, when LSU lost to 2 6-5 teams and got in the 2-team playoff.
Undefeated in regulation.
He said that.
Not only did he say, he sold that, man.
Oh, whatever.
He sold it.
Virginia Tech. So
that helped.
That helped. So I mean, one time where you schedule somebody tougher, it helps you out. So we were talking about Jackson Dart, how he kind of turned into a pumpkin, the Cinderella, the clock striking 12 on him, so to speak. Here's exactly the numbers in Gainesville. His first 28 attempts, he was 19 of 28 for 279 yards, 2 TDs, no interceptions, 10 yards an attempt. He also was scrambling pretty good, running behind his pads. He got some but 10 yards an attempt, 2 TDs, no interceptions. The last 13 attempts, 5 of 13 for 44 yards, 2 interceptions, and 1 called back, because of penalty at the very end of the game. That is 3.5 yards an attempt and 2 interceptions. I mean, you talk just the numbers alone. My goodness. I mean, why? I don't know. But pressure spot.
It's a lot
came
of
along.
yeah.
When Florida took that lead finally, and I know he at the end we make a lot of it. He had to force the issue. He had to try, but
and he got the mulligan. Remember before the interception.
That's what I said.
So there were a lot of strange things in that game. They took Lane Kiffin to task yesterday about Ulysses Bentley not running the football.
Right.
Who's been good in limited carries for them. Some strange things happening in that game.
One silver lining, Mincy. You didn't want to go to the SEC championship game. That's all.
How do you think the commissioner feels about those comments?
The commissioner said the same thing. He said, don't penalize the team. Basically, don't even, I'll paraphrase, but do not think about penalizing the team, the runner-up, the loser of the SEC championship game.
See, I think that's a little bit different than saying, I don't want to go. Because Sankey's still got to promote the event. It's still a big cash cow for the league. Just don't penalize. That's like saying, I want everybody to want to go to the SEC championship game because you're not going to be penalized. What Kiffin is saying is, we don't want to play in that game.
Well, it's bulletin board material for your opponents as well. So we saw a little bit of that in the SEC. We're 100% focused on Texas. Auburn.
Hey, I'm getting points. I hope he's right.
And Elko's really good.
He's had a great,
great
start. I think
that was not good. That was not good. 21 zip before they could get you see one. You think Auburn was ready to play? I think so. All right, here you go. Fire Brian Kelly. All right. Well, who? Well, are you firing DeBoer after the first year? I don't know. Are you firing Josh Heupel?
No.
Are you firing Lane Kiffin?
No.
Brian Kelly has outperformed everybody else, but Brian Kelly. But Kirby Smart. Kirby's 22-2 the last 3 years in the conference play.
Yeah.
BK 16-7. That's better than Josh Heupel's 15-8. It's better than Lane Kiffin's 14-9.
And it's better than the 3 guys that were hired with him that year, which we've talked about a lot. You can add these 2 names to the list.
Freeman, no.
Not Freeman. We were talking about Riley.
I think Freeman and Kelly are washed. Freeman's gained some ground this year, but I think Kelly has been better than Freeman the previous 2. Is that fair?
Certainly in 22. Last year was so bizarre. He was
Kelly,
so one-sided.
Kelly 6-2 in the SEC.
No, that's really good.
That's really good.
That's really good.
So now the third year, you don't like to go backwards. So, to have 3 losses in year 3. But anyway, Brian Kelly, only Kirby Smart has been better the last 3 seasons in the SEC. Now, Alabama collectively with Saban/DeBoer has been better. But
and we've never argued that Kelly was better than Saban or Smart.
Who is?
Nobody. You know who's probably got the closest record to those 2 in the last 5 years? Who is also on a semi-hot seat, if you believe
not
it.
Not in the league.
Not in the league. Nationally. Who's got a record that's close to those 2 the last 5 years?
Well, Ryan Day.
Well,
but Ryan Day.
And Ryan Day hasn't beaten Michigan in 2 years. So
2 years.
And, they've lost the last 2. This would be, or is this 3 in a row? They've lost at least the last 2. Is it 3?
It's like, it's not like 1,800 days or whatever Paul Stone was counting down today. Since they beat
is it 2 in a row? Check that, Max. Is it 2 in a row or 3 in a row?
Get the date of the last win by Ohio State over Michigan.
I thought it was 2 in a row, but it might be 3 in a row. Even if it's 2 in a row, you're over 1,000 days.
They beat them. No, this is 3 in a row, Charlie.
It's 3 in a row. Okay, I'm sorry.
In the COVID year, didn't play.
All right.
1,863 days since you beat Michigan.
They keep track of that stuff up there, do they?
That means something, Charlie.
It does. Because what's his record against everybody else? How many games has Ohio State lost that were not to Michigan?
Indiana's record is better. They got 151 total yards Saturday.
Yeah. What's your point?
Who's their best win? They need to
Nebraska.
Play. What 6-5 SEC wins do they have, Charlie?
They beat Michigan. Michigan 6-5.
They are 6-5.
Yeah.
I'd say Michigan's a comparable 6-5 to the 6-5 teams in the SEC.
Okay. What about Iowa 7-4? They kind of in that middle of the pack too.
Wouldn't you think so?
Yeah.
I mean, Iowa, Nebraska, Michigan this year.
Let's see. Ohio State the last 3 years is 33-3 against everybody besides Michigan.
And what's the record against Michigan?
0-3.
How many days since they beat Michigan last?
1,000 and whatever you said. He's got a Smoke Laval record. He's beaten everybody, but he gets to the College World Series. He's 0-4. That's all anybody remembers.
Well, don't save your ace. Who can remember who finished second in the College World Series?
Steinle.
South Carolina. The third. Kelsey Fortune.
That was one of the funnier press conferences.
We don't
get that anymore, man.
One of my absolute favorites from Steinle. Besides him, smokes. Don't forget our friends.
He could have spiked Steinle in the garbage can that day. He would have. But Steinle was about a foot taller than him. So.
Total Maintenance, one of South Louisiana's oldest and largest AC and heating companies since 1980. AC heating, generator installations, maintenance, service today, every day means same-day service. You'll never sleep hot. Call today. Get service today from Total Maintenance. Factory authorized dealers, Charlie, see which one rings a bell here. Factory authorized dealers for Carrier, yep. American Standard, Dakin, and Rheem Products. Think Astros. City Stadium.
Yeah, I heard that. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah,
Well,
nice. Very familiar.
They're going from citrus to air conditioners. Total Maintenance, your one-stop shop for all of your heating and AC needs. We cover both Baton Rouge area, the Metro Baton Rouge area, and the New Orleans area as well. But we don't compromise. We got totally different offices, totally different staffs for both markets. Our Baton Rouge number is 480-1000, 480-1000. My buddy Lucas Ragusa over at Total Maintenance.
Live at Doe's, live at lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at lunch.
By now, you know that we do our show every other Tuesday at the Crown Town Room at Dozy Place. The Crown Town Room is ideal for larger groups, or if you just want to watch the game on one of our 3 large TVs. The tamales are the most popular appetizer, but don't forget the seared tuna with the sriracha glaze for the perfect blend of sweet and spicy. You can't go wrong also with the flash-fried oysters or the shrimp. The porterhouse is the perfect steak to share. Strip on one side, filet on the other, prepared at different temps if you like, bone in to maximize flavor. Dozy Place on Government Street, just off Acadian in the heart of Mid-City.
104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge and Citizens Bank and Trust are bringing you the ultimate holiday gift with our Home for the Holiday sweepstakes. Imagine 2025 with your rent or mortgage covered up to $18,000. We're here to make your holidays a whole lot brighter. Just sign up at 1045ESPN.com and you could be living stress-free next year. Home for the Holidays is presented by Citizens Bank and Trust. The winner will be notified on December 20th. Sign up now at 1045ESPN.com.
I'm Insurance Commissioner Tim Temple. Medicare open enrollment runs from October 15th to December 7th. This is your once-a-year opportunity to make changes to your Medicare plan. Need support? The Senior Health Insurance Information Program can guide you through the process. Our team is trained to educate, counsel, and assist seniors and other Medicare beneficiaries in Louisiana so you can make the best decision for your health and budget. For additional help, call SHIP at 1-800-259-5300.
Sponsored by the Louisiana Senior Health Insurance Information Program. At Lofton, we're in the business of matching hard workers with some of the most sought-after employers in the Baton Rouge area. To Lofton, you're more than just another employee. We care about your interests, and we can help match you with a company that needs your skills. You can complete an application, schedule an interview, and even browse jobs by simply going to lofton.jobs. That's lofton.jobs. We also offer an unlimited $100 referral bonus. At Lofton, we put people to work. Lofton.jobs.
Do you feel like you get hurt at the most inconvenient times? Brock's After Hours Clinic has you covered for a break, sprain, or strain. Open 7 days a week, nights and weekends. Walk-ins welcome. Learn more, brortho.com.
Hey,
Hey, Baton Rouge, remember Red Stick Sports, your hometown favorite since 1981. They've been here through every season, serving our community with pride. Still family owned and operated, they're more than just a store. They're a part of your life. Whether it's football, baseball, or any sport in between, they've got you covered. Any season, for any reason. Red Stick Sports is there for you. Swing by today and keep the spirit alive. Red Stick Sports, where every game begins. 5770 Essen Lane.
Trust the experts at Coleman Roofing for all your roofing needs. Our Louisiana-based team offers top-notch roof replacement, expert sheet metal work, and efficient roof repairs. And we're committed to excellence and customer satisfaction. Visit colemanroof.com to learn more.
If you're looking for some time away, but you don't want to go too far, the Cook Hotel at LSU is just what you've been searching for. Book your getaway today and enjoy a beautiful escape in any of their luxurious guest rooms or suites overlooking the gorgeous LSU lakes. Whether you're here to shop or stay, the Cook Hotel at LSU is where you can find it all. Stay for the weekend, come by, grab lunch, or shop at their alumni gift shop. Visit thecookhotel.com to book your stay today. That's thecookhotel.com.
At the Renaissance Hotel in Baton Rouge, when it comes to hosting your meeting or event, we're in the business of saying yes. From our intimate boardrooms that can accommodate as few as a dozen people to our extravagant ballroom that can host events for 500 people, the Renaissance Hotel wants to make your next event unforgettable. To book your next event, call the Renaissance Hotel today at 215-7000. That's 215-7000, 215-7000.
Live at lunch with Ott and Hanny from Doe's Eat Place on Government Street on 104.5 ESPN, Baton Rouge.
The MAC action is not fantastic tonight. You got an 0-11 team in Kent State. And in Toledo and Akron, this is not great. They got some really good college basketball, though. In fact, starting here in about 20 minutes, the holiday tournaments that are going on. We got Creighton going at 1 o'clock, and then later today, Houston and Alabama, a top 10 matchup. That's at 7 o'clock tonight. And then Auburn, who already has 2 top 5 wins. They've beaten Houston and they've beaten Iowa State. They take on number 12 North Carolina is tonight. That's that's in Maui. And then Kansas and Duke tonight as well at 8 o'clock. So
who's the teams playing in the money tournament?
The
Las
Players
Vegas?
Era Festival is this game at 1 o'clock. San Diego State and Creighton
Rematch of the Elite Eight game a couple seasons ago.
Mm-hmm. And then Oregon and Texas A&M at 3:30 today, and then Houston and Alabama at 7 o'clock. And the Duke Kansas game is in Vegas, but it's that was the one at T-Mobile. The Players Era is at the MGM Garden.
So Duke Kansas is not part of this tournament?
It doesn't.
How?
I don't know. It's a good question. It's another.
Sure.
Well, because it's got a different name and it's at a different place, and I don't know why. The Players Era is the one where they're getting NIL money to go.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
How they
I just called it a money tournament.
Yeah, no, it's just to clarify for people.
Dayton gave Carolina all they could handle last night with a 2-point game. Started late last night. That's in Maui. And Iowa State, Auburn. Iowa State was up 16.5, 14, 16.5 against Auburn.
Yeah.
And Auburn wins by 2.
Once Auburn quit fighting with each other, man, they've been hell of play.
They just asked the flight staff, said, look, we're gonna beat each other up a little bit, but don't mind them. They're just, they're
Kelly
brothers.
Air Marshall.
They're brothers.
Take a seat. Yeah, they're
siblings do that.
The other game at that money tournament tonight is Rutgers and Notre Dame. And before you turn your nose up at that, if you don't know, Rutgers has got 2 top 5 NBA prospects on their team this year.
They took the Charlie Hannegriff schedule and went and played Kennesaw State on campus.
Why are you doing that?
And Kennesaw State built a 21-point lead. They wound up winning by 2 or 3, so held on to win. That one was on at the Queen during the early games of the college basketball season as well. So, yeah, but I don't know if Rutgers, even with the top guys, are a tournament team.
Really? Mm-hmm. No kidding.
Charlie, you can't lose to Kennesaw State, dude.
No, I
can't.
get it.
And listen, some of their other games too. They're not great. They're not.
I mean, there'll be plenty of chances for them to
where they pick to finish in the Big Ten.
I'm saying there'll be plenty of quality win opportunities available for them.
No, I just don't think they're a tournament. I don't think they're.
I'll take your word for it. I hadn't seen them play. It's just wow, you got 2 NBA guys.
Well, they're really young.
Yeah,
ain't nobody got more talent than Duke.
True.
You know, they've
Duke
already,
probably made the tournament,
Hey, Duke, if Duke is scary good. It was scary good, man. I don't know how Kentucky. I mean, they got we know the number 1 pick. Okay, I got that. You know, and he does everything. And for a guy that's going to be that high, man, he's got a little grit to him too, man. He loves to hit the glass. I mean, and he's so smart. He's really fun to watch. But man, that rim defender, man, you got a guy like that. I mean, that's like Dikembe Mutombo back there.
Yeah,
and then you got Wayne. They are loaded this year. I think it was Jason Williams even said this is the most talented team Duke's ever had.
Yeah, Mulach, the freshman from Sudan, is 7'2", 250 pounds. To me, he looked a lot like Dikembe Mutombo did at Georgetown. In fact, a little bit heavier.
Oh, he's bigger than Mutombo's pretty thin. So
he's even heavier there, and Flag gets all of the hype, but I tell you what, Knipple is a really, really good player.
Love saying that.
It's a cool name to say, Knipple. I wanted to make sure I was pronouncing it right, but yeah, it's a really cool name to say. He's shooting 41% from 3.
Our buddy Humans is in Maui, so
he goes every year, doesn't he?
Yes, he does.
It's a good tournament, man. It's a really good, good tournament.
He does it. But of course, that San Diego State Creighton game tipping off in 15 minutes. That was the elite game where Creighton had a as much as a double-digit lead, but the style of play, the way it was officiated, they were letting them, beat each other up pretty good. And well, San Diego State's going to benefit from that. But then you have that type of officiated game, and it's a tie game at the end, and kind of a little bump. There was way more fouls. They give the kid for San Diego State 2 free throws. He knocks them down, and they go on. They're going to the championship game. Going to the championship game. You remember they beat the Final Four that year, huh? To get to the championship game? It was only a couple of years ago.
Oh, man, I'm in football mode. No, help me out.
You're in football mode. The coach of this team now coaches a football school. Michigan.
Oh.
Still.
Florida Atlantic?
Yeah.
Re-trigger my brain here for a minute. I'll get there eventually. Number 1 team in the country is Kansas. They're an underdog to Duke tonight.
They should be.
Small underdog, but they're an underdog.
Boy, you talk about some big guys down low, huh? Boy,
Yeah,
Dickinson's
Dickinson.
a load, man. How is he still in college basketball? My goodness. So, yeah.
Hey, don't you think he's making more Kansas than he would have made in the NBA this year? Because
I don't know, man.
I don't think he's not a guaranteed lottery pick.
Not so much that. Well, was both. One, I didn't think Zach Edey could be an NBA player, and I certainly didn't think that what NBA prioritizes, what they value in a skill set, that's not even close to what he has. And he's like going to make some all rookie teams.
Yeah.
It's early, and we'll see if he be a star. So, I mean, Dickinson, I don't know. I mean, if Edey can make it, he can't.
He can, but he's not going to. What I'm saying is he's not going to be drafted as high. I'm looking at some of these things where he's definitely not a lottery pick, and I don't know. I don't know if he even goes in the first round, Jimmy. He's making more money at Kansas this year.
Where was Edey this time last year?
Edey was looked at as like a teens pick, like a late teens pick. Now, Edey's 7 inches taller than Dickinson. Okay,
but
he's 7 inches taller. I mean, that's a big deal.
I mean,
he wasn't a lottery pick, but he was a late teens.
I don't know about that. Not this time last year. No.
Late first round?
Not last year. No, not a first rounder.
NBADraft.com doesn't even have Dickinson getting drafted, period, which is even lower than I thought. So I guarantee you he's making more money than that at Kansas.
Well,
he's a very, very valuable college player.
No.
And I'm not saying he can't stick in the league.
No. Your point is well taken. I know what you're saying. I mean, He's a more valuable to the college game than he is.
He's probably a 7-figure guy.
And certainly Kansas, they've got support. They're boosters. He's going to at a place. I mean, Edie made a difference for Purdue. I'm sure he made some as well. But I think Edie needed another year also to try and just kind of. I think he got more prepared. But man, you tell me Dickinson's more skilled at this stage. Edie got better. I don't know, man. We'll see. But look, I'm completely wrong on Edie. Where he was drafted, how he's doing, the whole thing. Now, keep in mind, Edie shot up when he went to those draft workouts, and he did well. That was that was way after his last college game, way after. Certainly, we're talking about it in November right now. Don't forget Electric Man, electricmanbatonrouge.com. Need an electrician? We're licensed and insured, quality service guaranteed, quick repairs to full installations. Installations like your home or business has electrical emergencies. Electric Man can come right at your doorstep 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Our professionals can repair, replace, and install complex electrical wirings, electrical panels, or your new outlets in a breeze as well. Electrical safety. Safety is always our top priority at electricmanbatonrouge.com. It's tamper-resistant receptacles, ground fault circuit interrupter outlets, arc fault circuit interrupter outlets, or even USB outlets. We got you covered. electricmanbatonrouge.com.
Live at Doe's, live at lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at lunch.
Great gift ideas this week going into Black Friday at the Thibodeau store, especially if you're buying for Dad. A lot of the cookware available at the holidays, ThibodeauStore.com. You can get it delivered to you. But also they do a ton of Cypress furniture down there, custom-made Cypress furniture at the Thibodeau store. Swings, rockers, gliders, all of that available at the Thibodeau store. Also more your cookware, your cast iron pots, your roll-around combos, some of the Lodge pots are on special there all the way through Black Friday. Check out the website ThibodeauStore.com. A lot of these available online only. And of course, you're looking for Christmas decorations. That happens right after Thanksgiving. Got a ton of those at the Thibodeau store. Part of the family with the Pierreport store that just celebrated their 113th anniversary down in Pierreport. You need lumber delivered. You can do it out of the Pierreport store. You're visiting in person down in Thibodaux. It's 900 St. Patrick Highway in Thibodaux. Also a ton of fishing gear if you're going fishing here during the holiday breaks. The Thibodaux store, 900 St. Patrick Highway in Thibodaux, and online it's ThibodeauStore.com.
Have you been arrested or even issued a traffic ticket? Everyone makes mistakes. Hi, I'm Dana Brown from the law offices of Oshie Brown. If you find yourself
You said late first.
No, Edie was late first, early second. Okay.